Randy Orton handing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship over to senior official Mike Chioda. It's the huge winner take all main event here at WrestleMania 30. And with this being a triple threat, there are no countouts, no disqualification, anything goes. The only way to win is via pinfall or submission in the center of the ring. And Batista went after Bryan early on with that Batista bomb, but Bryan countered with a Hurricane Rana. But now it's Bryan going to work on Randy Orton. Bryan, who had a rough match earlier tonight against Triple H. And at the end of it, Triple H attacking Daniel Bryan, making sure to do extra damage to Bryan to kill off the Yes Movement. But here we are in the main event, and Daniel Bryan finds himself still in the situation, finds himself still in the running. He may not be the legitimate, he may be the fan favorite to win this one, but in terms of physical condition, how much of the favorite is Daniel Bryan truly? His condition is worse off now than it was heading into WrestleMania. And he entered WrestleMania with an injured shoulder, entering that first match tonight with his shoulder taped up. And it's Batista who won the Royal Rumble back in January. Batista earned this right to challenge his former Evolution partners, former Evolution brother, whatever you want to call it. These two traveled up and down the roads with each other at one point in the early parts of their careers. These two are now going at it. Randy Orton, the reigning and defending WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It's crazy to think that 12 years ago, these two were a part of the graduating class of, at the time, WWE's training center, the training center that was in Louisville, Kentucky, Ohio Valley Wrestling. And alongside them was Brock Lesnar and John Cena. We saw John Cena defeat Bray Wyatt earlier tonight, and Brock Lesnar ended the historic undefeated streak of The Undertaker. But right now, it's the other half of the 2002 OVW class going to work on each other. It's Randy Orton with a big back body drop to Batista onto the steel steps. Batista gets backdropped right onto those steel steps, and that's going to affect the animal in the long run, especially because the back, that's where a lot of power comes in when it comes to that Batista bomb. It comes from the back. It comes from the legs. And now Randy Orton goes right back to Batista. Oh, and a backdrop right onto the top of the barricade. Orton is so vicious inside the ring, but becomes even more diabolical when the rules are allowed to be bent a little bit. When the rules aren't there. And Randy Orton sends Batista into the ring. It's almost feeling like this is the traditional match, what it was supposed to originally be. Batista and Randy Orton. Daniel Bryan hasn't been seen too much in this match since the get-go. We saw him, of course, at the start when the bell rang. But Bryan was taken out pretty early. Bryan has suffered a lot of damage over the past number of weeks between what Triple H did to Bryan's shoulder, re-injuring the shoulder that Bryan injured a couple months ago, re-injuring it a few weeks ago. And Orton going for the cover on Batista, but Batista gets the shoulder up. It would be Daniel Bryan who'd get his shoulder re-injured and worse by Triple H in the opening contest. But there comes Daniel Bryan back into the fray with a double-legged missile drop kick. One boot for Orton and the other for Batista. And the WWE Universe here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome trying to hype up Daniel Bryan. And the yes kicks from Bryan nailing Batista in the side of the head. Oh, but Orton catches Bryan. And an exploder suplex takes out Daniel Bryan. And Orton goes for the cover as he pulls the leg back. And Batista breaks the cover at 2. And now it's Batista. Boom! And he power slams Randy Orton. Is it Batista's time? But it's Daniel Bryan this time who breaks the cover. Batista added some extra emphasis on that power slam. But when you have a triple threat match, you always have to worry about that third variable in the match if they are going to get involved when you try to isolate it to a one-on-one situation. Because when it comes to triple threat matches, that's the best thing you can do. You remove one part of the equation and it becomes a one-on-one match and makes it easier for two competitors to focus on each other without having to focus on the third variable, breaking up the pinfall or submission that is. And now it's Daniel Bryan in control with these running kicks to Batista and Randy Orton in the corners, going back and forth. And Daniel Bryan, his resiliency is like no other. Daniel Bryan, who's been called everything in the book by the Authority, has been undermined, undervalued by the higher-ups in this company, looking to prove everybody wrong, looking to prove that miracles are real. As Daniel Bryan goes for the cover, Randy Orton kicks at it too. And Batista with a clubbing blow to Bryan. And Bryan just dumped onto the floor by Batista. And Batista going up to the top. We don't always see Batista go up to the top. And now it's Orton who meets Batista with some clubbing fists. Boom, what a headbutt. Moments ago, we just saw Batista just dump Daniel Bryan to the outside on the floor. A rough landing for Bryan. Meanwhile, Orton looking to pay homage to his legendary father, Hall of Famer Cowboy Bob Orton, with a superplex. But Batista fighting back. Meanwhile, it's Orton who's trying to wear down Batista a bit more so that this superplex can connect. And it does! What goes up must come down. Bryan with a diving headbutt. Bryan literally just appears out of nowhere. And now Bryan, he's got the yes lock. The yes lock is locked in. Will Daniel Bryan become WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Oh, come on. There's Triple H and Stephanie. Well, the thing is, there's no disqualification. There's nothing that can be done about this. Daniel Bryan already defeated Triple H earlier tonight. And of course, Triple H is going to get involved. The Authority will do everything and will stop at nothing to screw over Daniel Bryan. They've done it time and time again. Triple H is as narcissistic as they get, making sure... Oh, there comes Batista with a spine buster. And Batista going to take advantage of the opportunity off that distraction. And it's the Animal who's fired up. Oh, and it's the crooked referee, Scott Armstrong. Oh, come on. Triple H always uses this crooked ref and a Batista bomb. You might as well just ring the bell already. But Daniel Bryan stays alive. And the fix was all set. But what you can't account for is Daniel Bryan's willpower. You can only fix this thing so much to screw Daniel Bryan over. But if you aren't going to take being screwed, you ain't going to get screwed. And that's not going to happen for Daniel Bryan, who sidesteps as Batista goes shoulder first, full speed ahead, into the steel ring post. And Daniel Bryan kicks the referee. And there's no disqualification, so it doesn't matter. Daniel Bryan has been waiting to do that to the ref, who has screwed him over and over. And a suicide dive from Bryan, taking out the leaders of the Authority, as well as that crook Scott Armstrong. And it's Daniel Bryan who's back in the ring as the Yes chants are running wild here in this sold-out Mercedes-Benz Superdome. But Triple H is back up to his feet. Let's get another look at the suicide dive from Bryan. Oh no, not this. Triple H is going to finish Daniel Bryan off himself. Daniel Bryan blocking Triple H. Triple H was looking to make him pay. But now it's Daniel Bryan who has that sledgehammer and clocks Triple H right in the skull. And the game has been played. And here comes Mike Chioda back into the fray. But Randy Orton breaks the cover this time. And now it's Randy Orton who saved his championship, sending Daniel Bryan to the outside onto the floor. What an uppercut to Daniel Bryan. Oh, shoulder first. That's that bad shoulder. And Batista and Orton working together, at least temporarily, to get Daniel Bryan out of this. And now remove the tape of the shoulder. This exposes the injured shoulder. They're going to try and get rid of Daniel Bryan, who just won't go away. He's like a mouse that lives in your basement. Meanwhile, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon being helped out to the back. And Randy Orton's got that steel step. And just sends it right into the bad shoulder of Daniel Bryan. And Orton, Batista looking at each other. Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan lays there, cold. It seems they were figuring out a game plan to take out Daniel Bryan. And at least for now, Randy Orton and Batista are going to work together to turn this into a one-on-one situation and get Daniel Bryan out of the equation, making sure that Daniel Bryan has no shot at leaving New Orleans as the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And Batista, boom, and clocks Bryan. Just clocking Daniel Bryan with the monitor. What in the world have Randy Orton and Batista just concocted of a strategy? Whatever it is, it's not going to be pretty. Oh my God. Not this. This doesn't end well for Daniel Bryan whatsoever. There's no outcome where Daniel Bryan survives this. I know exactly what. And a Batista bomb into an RKO through the announce desk. I think that chant for the crowd is absolutely justified at this moment after what we've just witnessed. Randy Orton put his body at risk on that RKO to Daniel Bryan. Let's get another look at this. A Batista bomb launched into an RKO. Seems that Orton's back might have landed on that monitor. There's a lot of chaos going on. Meanwhile, Batista is the one that's standing tall right now. This is the opportunity that Batista needs to take advantage of. We have ringside doctors taking a look at Daniel Bryan. Let's get another look at this one more time. At how devastating, how brutal this was. That RKO. From a Batista bomb to RKO. Calling for more medical staff to come down to get Daniel Bryan out of here. That's what seemed what it seems that Daniel Bryan hasn't moved at all. Daniel Bryan could be paralyzed. Daniel Bryan, lifeless. Randy Orton's hardly moved. Randy Orton landed hard as well. Randy Orton taking risk to get Daniel Bryan out of the equation. And now we have EMTs with a stretcher. Now that Batista and Randy Orton have gotten what they wanted, it's now time for them to turn their attention to each other. Meanwhile, Batista's the one who benefited most out of that temporary alliance. Batista should do everything he can to get Randy Orton into the ring right now. Man, Randy Orton, you can hear him writhing in pain a bit. And sent into the steel post by the animal. And Batista, who is now in complete control. Batista's in the driver's seat. I don't think we'll see Daniel Bryan for the rest of this match. It was a valiant effort by Daniel Bryan to do everything he could for a miracle, for the impossible dream, to reach the unreachable star. But there's a reason it's called the unreachable star, because it's going to come down to Randy Orton and Batista at the end of the day as Daniel Bryan gets stretchered out of here. Batista came back for one reason, and that was to become WWE champion. He went on to win the Royal Rumble. He earned this opportunity, and he is going to make the absolute best of it. And we saw that moments ago. That Batista bomb into an RKO. But suddenly Randy Orton finds himself back in the picture. But Batista dumping Randy Orton to the outside on the floor, for Randy Orton sweeping the legs of Batista. No. That patented DDT, but it's to the outside onto the floor to the animal. And Randy Orton taking out the animal. And you can hear the medical team saying you can't. Daniel Bryan fighting off the stretcher. Daniel Bryan is absolutely nuts right now to do this. Daniel Bryan can't even stand up, yet he still wishes to fight. Yet he still wishes. Daniel Bryan sent right into the steel steps. It's like Daniel Bryan has a death wish or something. But you got to give credit where credit is due. Daniel Bryan will not stay down. He will not quit. Daniel Bryan has a lot on his plate tonight. A lot to show. He's got a lot of people behind him who want to see him finally get the big one and do it on the grandest stage of them all. At the 30th WrestleMania. Meanwhile, Randy Orton is going to that place. This is where Orton turns from evil to the devil, where he goes to the apex predator. Oh, but it's Daniel Bryan who turns it into the yes lock. When it seemed like Randy Orton was looking for an RKO, Daniel Bryan finds a sign of life. Will Randy Orton tap out to the yes lock? Is Orton gonna tap? But there's Batista from behind. And Batista who saves the title. Now it's Daniel Bryan on Batista. And the animal's now caught. An animal caught in a trap. Daniel Bryan's got the yes lock locked in deep on Batista. But it's Orton who breaks the submission up to keep his title still intact as he throws Daniel Bryan off. This is what happens in a triple threat. And Randy Orton with these uppercuts now to Batista in the corner. Randy Orton teeing off on the animal. And Orton going for Batista. Looking to strike. Oh. And Batista countered that RKO. Batista. Oh. But a spear and nailed Daniel Bryan. And an RKO. Randy Orton will retain, but no! Batista stays alive. And Batista stays alive. Gotta look at that. Batista just launched Daniel Bryan out of the ring. That was as close to 3 as you get. Randy Orton can't believe it. But he's not done yet. Randy Orton conflicted in the mind. And Randy Orton thinking about what is next. No. We've seen this before. This has put WWE superstars out of commission in the past for months and months at a time. Looking for the punt. But a running knee by Daniel Bryan. That's the knee that beat Triple H earlier tonight. But Batista's going to steal this one. But Randy Orton stays alive. And you just heard Batista yelling at the official, "Come on." And Mike Chioda's keeping his eyes glued to this thing, keeping it locked. And now it's Batista looking for a Batista bomb on Randy Orton. And it is. And there's the Batista bomb. But a running knee to Batista. A running knee, running knee. Come on, Bryan. You can do it. Come on, Daniel. Daniel, he's got it. He's got it locked in. The yes lock. Do you believe in miracles? Daniel Bryan's done it. Daniel Bryan's done it. The miracle has happened. The miracle on Bourbon Street. Daniel Bryan has reached the unreachable star here at WrestleMania. To reach the unreachable star, to achieve the impossible dream. It has happened. As the Yes Movement is running wild here at WrestleMania. The odds stacked against Daniel Bryan, first defeating Triple H. This is everything and more that the WWE Universe hoped for it would be. And Daniel Bryan has finally overcome the authority, finally pushed through the odds. Daniel Bryan can say that he's done it all, that he has done it his way. Through thick and thin, Daniel Bryan stood tall and he faced it all. On April 6th, 2014, Daniel Bryan makes history, overcoming the Authority and realizing the dream of becoming the WWE World Heavyweight Champion at the Showcase of Immortals, WrestleMania. Congratulations to Daniel Bryan, who is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion.